Hello! I've been waiting for you. I'm Taren S, a High Priestess in American Witchcraft Tradition with almost 40 years experience. I'm so happy I get to open up the world of covens and magic to you. Come on in. Hello! Thank you so much for joining us today here at the House of Witchcraft. We have got a good topic. I'm too excited. And we've also got some Cottage witches up here to join us. And I'm going to let them introduce yourselves.
Hello. I'm Dina.
I'm Meadow.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are so happy to see all you witches out here. If you are new and this is your first time watching a video, let me be the first to say welcome home, witch. And of course, please press the subscribe and the notify button. We upload good witchy videos all week long. All right, witches, today's topic is really something that I think a lot of folks are a little confused about. And so I went and drugged me up here some witches that got magical names to ask them all about it. I figured it's much when we talk about where do we get our information from, where do we get our knowledge from. Books only do so much, witches. It's about the experience, and it's about these different stories. We're an oral tradition.
We are.
Yes.
We are definitely.
And part of our oral tradition is when we tell each other stories about how we got our names for those of us that choose. So, of course, y'all know today's topic is witches' names. Should you get one? Where do you get it?
Where do I buy one?
Where do you buy one at? Do I need one?
Who gives it to me? Like,
are there real ones?
right.
Is it like tarot cards where you have to be gifted your first one?
Right.
What if you pick it from something that's kind of mundane? Does that still work? As
Does that not matter?
Oh, gee, well.
And so, no wonder some of you witches out there, especially you young baby witches, you're hearing about these magical, mystical names and not sure what your next step is. For many of us, I'm going with the four witches you see sitting here, at various times in our lives, we did take on a magical name, all right? And I'm going to start with my story, and then I'm going to let Wall go down and tell our own how, my name I took on when I was 19 years old. My name's Taren, T-A-R-E-N, and it's of the earth, Terrenian. And it just came to me in like a dream type scenario after a really cool full moon ritual, and you go home and you're journaling.
Those are always fun.
And
I love that.
And I wrote the name down, and I went and asked my High Priestess, and she thought it was an amazing, and of course contemplation, thought about it, and then I embraced the name, and I've used it ever since. Your turn, Rebecca.
Okay.
Rebecca's got a really good one to tell.
Yeah.
I've been called Rebecca since I was a little girl. If anybody ever got my name wrong my whole life, they called me Rebecca. And even when I walked into the cottage for the first time I came here, somebody looked right at me and called me Rebecca. So it's been a name that I knew was mine, and it was almost like I had to step in and embrace that name, like live into it. So even I belong to a church, and in that church they give you a new name, and you don't know the name before. And even at that church, they gave me the name Rebecca. I swear. It's just, so I lived into it, and I embrace it as a name for me that is older than me and deeper than this fleshly body. It's a deep, old name for me. It's one that,
I wrote down what I thought was a witchy, pseudonym name for her, without knowing any of this, and I wrote down Rebecca.
I know.
And so that's part of that whole, like, everybody was calling you Rebecca but you.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
We all knew she was Rebecca.
And then she put my last name as Nightsong, and I'm the bard in our group, so it was so perfect. That's exactly what I do. Everything, it was perfect, it all was seamless, and Awesome.
Rebecca
there it is.
Nightsong,
I love it.
ladies and gentlemen.
Rebecca Nightsong. Okay. And
Yes.
you.
Oh yes. Well, my magical name, I suppose, is what it is. Is it just I work a lot with my land, my the property I lived on for a very long time, and I knew to them they didn't use my Monday name. I don't really like my Monday name. I never have. I never will. I'm pretty sure. But I was. It's so yeah, they're fine with it. I do not like my mundane name. But basically, my spirits never referred to me by that name. But they didn't really call me anything. It was almost like I was just there with them, just kind of one of them. So I knew if I had a name, it needed to place me. And one of my favorite places to be on my property is this big field that blooms in the spring and becomes a lovely little meadow.
Oh.
So it's about working with the land and that placing it, that meadow. I am named for that meadow.
Oh.
Really. So that's how I use my name magically.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. I never actually knew that. Yeah. I thought her name was Meadow. I mean, her name is Meadow to
My
me.
name is Meadow.
I've
name
had
is
people ask me,
Meadow.
they're like, is that her real name? I'm like, yeah, it's gorgeous.
Great.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, might as well be.
Right.
Yeah.
No, exactly. And oftentimes we find that within the magical community, one of the reasons why we pick magic names is because it's a way of empowering ourselves. That's one thing that I love about myself and my magic name, Dina. Oftentimes I have kind of tried to incorporate that into my real world as well too, because when I came into the name Dana, it was like stepping into a power that I had. I could be this strong magical witch because I believed that Dana could be, and I am Dana. And so I think that that's why a lot of times we like our magical names better than our mundane names, because it reminds us who we are in this life that we've stepped into, in this role that we've stepped into.
That is very good point. I really like that.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for you new witches out there, relax, breathe. You don't need to figure it out right now.
No.
You'd be like, I want a magic name, and I'm trying to figure it out. Where do I go? What do I do? Let me
I'm gonna go sit in my backyard and look at my field. I'm gonna call myself Field.
Right.
The nice YouTube lady said this is what I had to do
said
to
my
get
name
my
is
name.
my name is Rogue now. Granted, yes. Some people were trying to name one of our witches
What?
Granted. I'm
For
no,
you.
stop.
Let the journey, let the experience help you. Let the goddess help you. Go stand under your full moons.
Yeah.
Go say your prayers. Feed your altars. All right. Circle with like-minded folk. And you're going to have like with these instances where it just sounds right. It feels right.
Let yourself be tickled. Like
Mhm.
let it
Ooh,
reside
I like
in you. Yeah, like let it tickle you. That name.
I wasn't even thinking about, I need a name. It just sort of like all of a sudden I realized that was my name when I was here.
Mhm.
And like your name.
Well, this is a good example of sometimes it doesn't have to be so magical like this as well too. And that's another part that we wanted to discuss with you all, is that it can come to you in such a beautiful, magical way. You can have a dream, you can have people calling you something, you can have a wonderful moment in your yard and connect that way. But if you're going to stress yourself out because I can't find these magic moments, oh no, then you can also, it's perfectly fine too if your magic name comes from a bit of a mundane source, which is where my story comes in. So my magic name is Dana, D-A-E-N-A. I love the spelling of it. I love the way it comes off the tongue. I love being called, the nickname of it could be Day. It's just a very fun, beautiful name to me. And I got it a couple years back when I was with a different group, and we were planning a lot of stuff, and we didn't want to write our muggle names down on pieces of paper that then could be found. Not everybody was necessarily out at the moment, and so we had to pick a magic name that we could at least use in that time. And I, at the time, had never really experienced or tried to experience finding a magic name. I had my muggle name, and I was like, whatever. I've never liked it my whole life, whatever. I'm going to wait for my
moment that'll come where it'll get to me.
Her magical moment.
Exactly. I'll have my magic moment one day. And I didn't. And so I picked the name Dana from, in case anyone here has read age-old time of A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones. If you've read the further backstories to that and the other lore behind it, there's a book called A World of Ice and Fire that goes into all the Targaryen kings, basically. And one of the kings, Baelor the Blessed, locked up his sisters in what was called the Maiden Vault to protect their virtue. And one of the girls, Dana, she was Dana the Defiant, who kept sneaking out. No matter how hard they tried, they could not contain her. And I loved her spirit in it. I loved her fierceness. I loved that defiancy of, because this is, medieval times, so she's already a woman, so she has no rights, treated like cattle, things like that, but she was defiant. And so I liked that, and so I picked Dana. And I just kind of stuck with it, and I grew into it, and I grew to love it so much. And the day that I really embraced it was also due to, I wasn't fully out at work either, so I was like, okay guys, I really want this name to stick and circle. But the more I grew into it and embraced it, the more I just fell in love with it. And now, when I look at myself and I see Dana, I'm filled with happiness and empowerment and joy, and I love my magic name. I may actually change it legally one day.
That is the best story
That
ever.
is awesome.
I know, I didn't even know that story. I love that. That means so much more. Oh my gosh.
Whether you choose to use sacred numerology.
Yes, however you come to
If you
it.
believe Hermione is your magic name,
what it's like, what she's telling, it's when you look in the mirror and you say it and you feel a sense of self, a sense of empowerment.
Yeah, I will also say that
that is the right name for you.
Yes, and you can also keep yourself safe that way, because if somebody doesn't know your full legal name, then there are certain things, in my opinion anyway, that you can protect yourself against.
Oh yeah,
tell them
that is absolutely that is very
Just
true.
saying. There's a whole other reason to magic names.
There is. There's all sorts of different reasons on why we take magic names. Even in today's modern world, we still, and many of our communities do have to protect each other. And so it is much easier to have a magical name. That way, if I'm meeting strangers, I'm not giving up my legal name. I don't, know these people type thing. Within a coven, within a working, living tradition, yes, we do know each other's legal names typically, but we don't say them. We don't ever use them. It's for us to protect each other.
We use those names with each other, just so you know, too. We don't.
Yeah,
we don't use our mundane names, but we
don't switch back and forth.
No.
Yeah, we don't.
We use our.
We're Taren, Rebecca, Meadow, and
I
Dana
get very
the whole
upset
time.
if somebody, especially in Magic Circle, if somebody muggle drops me.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, we get in trouble like
yeah.
on more than one occasion.
God,
She'll say her mother name, and I have to be like,
hashtag Muggle Drop.
Muggle drop. No, and I'm just shouting, "What's my name, Taren?"
what's the name, Taren?
Because yes, I know her, and periodically I don't make the switch over, and it's just I know, and she's absolutely right. Because when we are in space and we are out, even if you're in a public spot, you would like to believe everybody there is content, but we actually don't know.
There have been a couple times I've been very glad that I have not given my name in circle when meeting strange people at strange spots.
Yes.
Fun, but strange.
Yes, and if, so it's something that, and if you are not feeling, and if you're sitting there thinking, I like my name. My name makes me
that's
feel
wonderful as well,
good.
too.
Then you are one of the lucky, blessed ones that your magical name is your birth name.
And that is totally good, too.
Yeah.
That makes
I know people.
great.
I know people who
That's
the
a
case.
great
and that's
magical
great.
name.
Yeah.
This isn't, oh my gosh, I gotta get one, why can't... There are folks out there that your name is your magic. You don't, you're good.
Yep. And that's
All right?
wonderful.
And there are other
Then
folks...
you already got your magical name, so there you go.
Yeah. And there are other folks that they may journey for a couple of years before the goddess opens that up for them and they find their magical name.
And that's why Taren sometimes muggle drops me, hashtag. It's because she did know me before I found my magic name. I found it about 3 years ago and I really stuck with, well, actually about 5 years, but I stuck with it about 3 years ago. So accidentally she will, because she knew me for quite some time as my actual name, and then all of a sudden I'm asking her to change names on. So that's also kind of why it happens. But so it's saying that you don't have to have it at first. You can be however long into your journey and find your name and then embrace it. When it comes to you, it comes to you.
No pressure. Just let
Well,
it be easy.
I think a common mistake a lot of you baby witches is you feel like you have to celebrate every Sabbat. You've got to go get a robe. You need all the stuff for your altar.
You need the
you
pentacle,
need
the
to get
censer,
a wine, and you need to get a witchy name all in the first year.
Uh-huh. All the first 30 days.
30 days.
Oh, I know. It's like you're like, well, if I'm gonna be a witch, I gotta do it this way. Let me get all this going.
Some checklist.
And
Yeah.
my magic name will be Morgana.
Starfront.
Yeah.
And this is about you having a journey and experience and letting each season just open itself up to you.
Opening up to it.
And
All right.
allowing.
The only thing that I was saying earlier, the only thing you got to do is be there. All right? Promise, the goddess is already there.
Mm-hmm. She's
Oh, yeah.
waiting for you.
Yes.
For sure.
All right? All you have to do is show up
Mm-hmm.
and just take the journey. And if the journey to your name, a couple of months, couple of years, couple of decades, that's the journey that you needed to take.
That's for
All
sure.
right? So be careful comparing. We're so blessed to have the Cottage witches talking about their different journeys. Let your journey be yours so that you get your own personal story. None of us have the same story.
No.
All right?
No.
And it's up
We all
to
didn't come together and pick it out of a cauldron one night.
No.
No.
It's
Yeah.
up to you. This is your journey to take. You have to do it. All right, witches. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And, I hope you have as bright of a blessed day as we're having. And as always, amen, blessed be, ashe, and a-bo-bo.